Hmm. Okay. Mm, I'm alive. I need to check myself. So this is very weird. Um, so go to youtube.com. Yeah. Go to, where do you even see this? Can I turn on do not disturb? Is it turn on? Yeah, I want to turn do not disturb. I'm alive. I'm alive. I'm alive. Okay, so you check from here. I'm live. Okay, now I need to just see it as well. Where do you even see this? Okay, okay, that means I am live. I'm gonna open this up on another screen. Maybe I'll open this up on Safari on another tab so I know at all times that I am live. So I'm not signed in. Weird. I'm just gonna try Firefox then. No, this time I'm gonna try it on like this tab. So I've got my screen right here, and I've got a laptop right here. So I'm gonna test it here. It's working fine on this one. I'm just gonna try Firefox then. Cheek. Okay, it is working fine. Right. So great. I have really no idea why I'm actually streaming again, but it's actually a Saturday, and I have a off after quite a while. So and plus I haven't done. I got pretty busy with work. I still have a lot of work. I still should be working, but I thought I could rest a little. I wanted to get some admin of code done. I made a GitHub. Uh, I made a GitHub repo with admin of code 2022, and the main thought here was that I'd be able to do this in Python 3. I don't know Python 3. I did Python quite a few years ago. I used to work in it, but I've never really done it professionally. So I've never really done it a lot. And quite honestly, I haven't touched Python in say I think over 4 or 5 years. Maybe a little in school. We did some Python in school, but that was very little Python, very little. So you already know how school goes. So it's not really a lot of work. Anyways, so I did this. My last commit was last week. That's when I really stopped because of work. So now I'm actually gonna get back to it. So I'm gonna be using this. So I'm gonna mainly move this here. So this is the main code screen. I think what I should do is I should do something like not this. Sorry. I should do something like where I should move this to the right of the screen, move this to the left of the screen. And so we've got this description open right here, right? No, much better. Okay, so I've recently shifted to Mac. It's been about 4 months so far. I got the new MacBook M2, the MacBook Air, the M2 version. I don't know. It's working fine right now, but I think it might even be slow. It is slow, but we'll have to see. I'm not really sure if that is the case or not. But it's very slow. It's actually very slow. And I get tired. So I had an HP laptop before this. So before I get to it, I'm just gonna do this. It's a stream, and I'm pretty sure no one's watching. Because I'm not a streamer, I don't really intend to be a streamer. I'm just doing this just because. Right. So yeah. So it's one watching, and that is me. That's me. Oh, so you've got two watching now. I don't know who the second one is. Fun. Right. So anyway, uh, I used to do these streams on Periscope quite a while ago, and I used to get quite a few people to watch. About like by quite a few, I mean like a few dozen, so about 100 and 110 people. But I haven't done this in years, and I'm just doing this because I wanted to do admin of code, but I also wanted to record my process. So rather than it being anyone else, or this video being for anyone else, quite honestly, I wanted to record my own self. Um, okay, so let's do it. So this is where I left it at. This was my day for input. So this is where I left it at. And I just want to take you through the process. Again, I don't know Python, so I'm going to do a lot of Googling. I recently watched a few streams from the guy, who's that guy, Geoff, or someone who does OpenAI. Um, right, so who's Geoff? The Twitter guy, the work. What's You're pretty much seeing everything that we really see. I don't know, his name was Geoff. Geoff screams. Oh, the OpenAI guy, I'm not sure. Can't find it. Right. I don't know. Geoff Twitter, maybe? Oh, right, this guy. Oh, it's not Geoff, it's George. Yeah, George Hotz. Yep, right here, right? So this guy. And he streamed, and the thing I liked was that you could see I've watched some of these. I watched completely this one. I watched some of this. I watched this one. I haven't watched a 4 hour stream, quite honestly. I don't know why YouTube says that I've watched this one. I have not. But still. So generally, what I liked about his stream was you could see his thought process and how he was generally working. That's what I want to do. Really give insights into how I'm gonna be solving this problem. Okay, so let me just get into it. Hmm. Right, so I've already read this. So generally, what it is that it's an elf and all that, like Christmas, right? So what it really says is that these are lists. So let me show you my input, and then let's learn from that. So this is my input, right? So there are pairs of elves that need to get through and do tasks, right? So for example, they've got right here. I've got 12 to 80 and then 12 to 81. So they're supposed to do. They've got their inputs, right? So they've all got tasks. These are sections. So elf number one is supposed to do 12 to 80, and elf number two is supposed to do 12 to 81. But if you look at this, so elf number two will technically be doing everything that elf number one will be doing, just one additional column section. So 12 to 80, that means elf one should not really do anything, since 12 to 81 is already there. So So you can read through this part as well. So some of the pairs have noticed that one of their assignments fully contains the other, 12 to 80, 12 to 81. For example, 2 to 8 fully contains 2 to 7, and 6 to 6 is fully contained by 4 to 6. In pairs, write one assignment fully containing the other. One elf in the pair would be exclusively clearing section. Their partner will already be cleaning. So yeah, they need to clean these sections. And it's a section, not a column. Right. So these seems like most in need of reconstruction. In this example, there are 2 such points. Okay, so this was the example, right? So what points do this cover, right? So I think this is 1 because 6 to 6 does 4 to 6. What's the other one? 2 to 4 and 6 to 8. That's completely separate. 2 to 3 and 4 to 5. That's separate. 5 to 7 and 7 to 9. That's separate. 2 to 8 and 3 to 7. This misses out 1. No, but this is 2 does. Okay, so this is 1 and this is 1, right? So these 2, because 2 to 6 does not cover 4 to 8, right? So these two cover entirely. So 5 to 7 and 7 to 9. So the answer is 2. So what I need to now do is this is my puzzle input. It's really rather long, 1,000 line input, and this is a general format, right? And what I really need to do is solve through this. So I've also show you what I've done so far. I'm gonna move the terminal here. Another weird thing on Mac is that it tends to if you're on light mode, right? So it tends to move the terminal. If you're on light mode, it tends to move the terminal. It made the terminal white. So right before starting the stream, what I had to do is I had to come in here and like go into like settings and change the background and color from here, which is a very, very, very weird thing I had to do. There should have just been a dark and light option, and I could have just yes, sure, advanced colors for people who want it, great, but I should have just option to make it dark and light. There should have been an option like that. So not clean, but right. So my current input just can you even see this? You read this on the screen? I'm not sure. So what it does is it says it like pulls out 21 and 99. What 21 what I've done so far, and I'll explain that as well. But if you look at the input, 21 and 99 is the first line of that input, and that is essentially what I'm doing at this point. I'm just pulling it out from in there. So if you see, I've said print range 1, and then stuff like that. So again, so I'm not looking at memory usage. I'm not looking at how effective my programs are. What I'm really doing is, since I don't know a lot of Python, I generally work in PHP, not a lot in PHP, but I work a lot in WordPress. But I mainly work in JavaScript. So what I wanted to use this to do is to actually work in Python. That's what I'm doing. So, which is why I'm not going to be focusing. I'm just going to focus on getting the answer, even though it's sloppy. So maybe if I go through this and I do end up finishing up this, and then I might take out some more time to go through this a second time, and then maybe refactor my code, find better solutions. But I need to find just a solution at this point. So that is the goal. Solution does not have to be efficient. It just has to be a solution that works. So clear and easy system. So what I'm really trying to do is, this is pretty standard. What I'm really doing is taking the input within Python and putting it into a list. Then I've got it in this list. And then what I'm really doing is then splitting it by the comma, and then it prints out and saving it into a new list. So why am I splitting by the comma? If you look here, so what it does is then it divides the two. It's separated by comma, right? So 1280 and 1281. So it divides the two, and we call it new list. So what I could also do is, for a second here, okay. So another thing that I think is horrible in Python is that they don't really have multi-line comments. So if I want to like print this out, I want to point this out, I'd have to do this, opposed to something doing something like this. No, not an option. I can't do something like this. I have to put an hash, 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 hash. It's a very, 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 very weird situation. Right. So, right, I'm gonna move to that. So I'm just gonna show you what this new list is before anything else. So, because I've also at this point forgotten, I did this a week ago and I don't remember the solution. So now when I do new list, uh, yeah, so it tells me 21.99 and 2021 because the item is saved to new list. So so one of the first things, so this is a problem. This is the last time I had already identified this problem last time. So if I'm gonna do new list, right? So I'm gonna declare like the new list right here. So if I'm gonna do new list, I'm probably gonna have to do new list dot append and then do stuff like that, right? So it adds to the list. Let's check it out, and we get an error. Hmm. That append is read only, which is weird because okay, so I think I'm supposed to do this if I'm wrong. I think yeah, it's not supposed to be equals to. It's supposed to be append is a function, so it's supposed to take in goes off. Boom, boom. Yeah. So the first one down is what is this? It's a 12 to 80, and then it says 12 to 81. It's essentially the same list, right? So how is this different than just lines? Let me print that out. So we've got this print right here, right? Okay, no, okay, it is different. Okay. So, for those of you who think that this is a lot of junk, I'm going to tell you how it is different. So, if you go to this one, so I'm going to take the last one because it's easier. If you take a look at this, so this is one single entry, right? So it's unless it's within the list, there's an item and stuff like that, right? So if you look at this single entry, it says 21 to 99, comma 20 to 21. So let me show you something else as well. So if I go out and print, I'm gonna do something else here. I'm gonna take print lines and I'm gonna say print new list, right? That's what I'm really gonna take. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give them both the index of 0. So we're able to compare the two. Yeah, the error resistor space. Another thing, white space in significance or white space significance. I don't know. I've actually quite honestly enjoyed Python a lot in the past few days, so I can't really complain. It's a good right. So there you go, much clearer difference, all right? So if you take a look at the original list, it was 12 to 80 and 12 to 81, just a piece of string, right? But the second one actually has an array. It says 12 to 80 and then 12 to 81. Again, I don't know if this works and it actually works or not. What if I do this? From what I'm assuming, this should turn out 12 to 80, just 12 to 80. And it does. So now you see what I can do is I can access just a single member of the list. Then I can split the two. And I can see where it starts and where it ends. So that means I've got the first range and I've got access to my first range. Of course, I could do it with the first one as well. So, no, I cannot do it with the first one. So if I will go out and do 0 and 0 right here as well, that will probably not work. It probably will. Okay, it says 1. This is 1. Why does it say 1? I'll tell you why it says 1. Because the first character is 1. So I could also go character by character, and I could then say if the character is dash, that's a maximum. The character is a comma, that's a well. So a hyphen is a that means the beginning range has ended, and the comma is that the first group has ended. Um, but but I don't. That could be approach, but this is a better approach that I like. So I'm correct. Of course, memory and efficiency is not a problem here. All I really want is I want access to these two things, and I'm getting access to it. So generally, why I'm doing this is you get it. So now I get access to this. Okay, now let's move forward. So now that the new list contains everything from the first list, now I want to go through the new list, go through it, and then find exactly where the, let's say, what can we say, where the second list is, or something like that. So let me think this through. So now what I want to do next is I want to start a maximum. So I'd have to loop through it, right? Because I need to see. So what I do exactly need to check, and this is also something that we need to solve. What are we checking for? For as a human, I can say, yeah, it's, for example, I had to think a little. It's 2 to 8. Does it contain 3 to 7? But yeah, it does. But how did I come to that conclusion? And that is how you solve a problem. So it says 2 to 8. What I can come to is I can do 3. 2 plus 1 is 3, right? So yeah, what I could do is 2 greater than or less than 3. So let's see if it applies. If I say that I'm gonna take some notes here, right? I just say the start 1, that is the first start, range 1 start, needs to be smaller. Needs to be, it doesn't need to be, if it's smaller than start 2, right? So, but then this won't be a single condition, because then you also need to check one. So it's smaller. Let's say yeah, it's true. So 2 is bigger. It comes before that one. So okay. So for example, all of these, yeah, it's smaller than 6. It's small, but then the second one, that means end of 1. It means the end of 1 needs to be smaller than the start of 2. If you take a look at it. So let's take a look at this part, because I think this is where the problem actually solves. So is 4 smaller than 6? Yes, it is. Not a problem, because 4 is smaller than 6, so it's fine. Okay, so is 3 smaller than 4? Not a problem. Is 7 smaller than 7? It is not, but it's equal. What if it's equal? If it's equal, then you should check the end. Is the end smaller than that end? It should be greater. So it's greater. Let's check the other one. So 2 to 8 and 3 to 7. So is 8 smaller than 3? It is not. That means it starts before. Great. Now 10 is 8. It's an ending smaller than 1. It is not. It contains it. Let's see if this rule falls out. So let's just apply one rule, and then let's say if the rule freaks out. So we're just going to go with this rule for now. The end um, the end is, let's say, rather than the start, right? It's not start, like start. Okay, so is 6 greater than 4? And okay, so we also need to see if we're gonna count or not. So if it's true, what if it's true? What if this is true? So if this is true, we're gonna say it's, if it's true. So if is 6 greater than 4, that's it doesn't need to be small. It needs to be small, right? So we do not count. So don't count. Let's say, yeah, don't count, right? But I have get a Copilot on, but what if it's false? So if it's turn see multi-line comments, how important they are. But if it's false, then you count. Let's test this out. So it is 8. So let's count on from here. So 4 is smaller than 6. 4 is smaller than 6. It's true, don't count. 3 is smaller than 4. It's true, don't count. 7 is not smaller than 7. Should we count? No. That means we need if. In this case, we need another one. We need to check. We need to see if hash. We need to check if hash is n1 equal to n1, right? If this is, let's say, what if it's true? It is equal, right? So we've got 7 to 7. Then you need to check the end. Then you need to check if it's true. If it's true, you need to check if end 1 is smaller than n2, because then it needs to be smaller than n2, right? And then the same thing applies right here as well. So if it's true, and it is smaller, so let's say 7 to 7 is equal, it's 6 here. If 7 to 9 is 7 smaller, it is smaller. If it's true, you do not count, so don't count. But if it is false, you count. But and then the same rule applies. So you're gonna copy this exact same rule right here. Yeah. So what if is end? What have I done here? Okay. So this is supposed to be an if condition, right? So I'm gonna put it end 1 to 2 if it is. Oh, right. So I'm putting in a condition. So and so I'm gonna just say if n1 and so if that is true, that is the case, yes, it is n1, it does equal to a. But if it is false, if this is false, what if this does not clear out? So if it does not clear out, so that means n1. So we just apply the same way. I'm just complicating it a bit too much. So we're just gonna do else, and we're just gonna do the exact same rules like these two rules. So this right here, so it's gonna be true. Don't count, true. And if it is gonna be here, and I just want to put in true, I just want to put in this condition, then you need to check that. If n1 is another, and then if n1 is another, and there is no actually. Okay, so now we're gonna implement this because I think this works, but we'll have to of course do it to a loop as well. So just to explain it, that we'll have to then do it to a loop as well. Right. So the answer for this one is 2. So what I'm gonna do is for a second here, I'm gonna remove this, okay, and I'm gonna put in. I'm gonna take the format at least. So I'm gonna at least keep the first one. Yeah, I'm gonna keep the first one right. I'm gonna keep one of them like, so I can like keep the same format. Then yeah, right here. So I'm gonna copy these. What am I doing? 2 to 4, 6 to 8, 2 to 3. I always do this is where I take their input, so I'm able to test it rather than keep entering a wrong input and getting your wrong answer, wrong answer, wrong answer. I want to first test it on their input, and at first sometimes your input is a bit too basic, so you can solve some of the problems, but to get into the right direction, at least to find the right step to at least start with, this is a good thing to take on their solution. So take on their problem. So the example right here. So if I can achieve this too, that means at least I'm somewhere correct. And then I just change the input and run it on my input. So it's a test input. Then I run it on a real input. So the real input passes that great. If it does not pass, then I see what's the problem and what's the complexity that I'm not able to grasp with the real input. Right. So let's get to it then. Okay. So if we're able to get through each of the lines, for each of the lines, what are we doing? So what I want now is a variable of sum, right? We'll get sum right here. So rather than I'm just going to make it count. So I'm going to count right here. Now, for all of the items in new list, what I want to do, yeah, I'm going to write through those. So what I want to really do is then items. So one item in new list was this. So just for a little context, I'm actually going to print. I'm sorry, I keep forgetting because I'm trying to focus. I generally do this very quietly. I don't speak a lot, but I'm trying to do this while talking and while trying to give out some input as well, trying to speak here as well. So thinking aloud isn't helping great. Might be great for some people, isn't great for me. I like doing this quietly, but which is why I keep losing my tracks. Okay, so any less than 0 is going to take me to the first item. Okay, so for example, if I want to test the first item, I'm gonna have to loop through it. So right, and within those, if I want to check the start and end of any item, so I have to do this. Weird. It gave me 2 to 4, 6 to 8, but it gave me 2 to 4 and 6 to 8. It gave me, oh, I wrote in because I wrote 1. It's not right. So I'm seeing, I'm trying to share my thought process here rather than anything else. So you can see what I'm trying to do here. So I'm taking a list. So I'm going to loop through this list. This is the list that I'm going to loop through. Within the list, I'm going to loop through each item. So within that list is another embedded list. It's an array. It's a list of arrays or a list of lists, whatever. Within that list, I'm going to get into it and I'm going to see that, okay, each item has 2 to 4. 2 and 4. Now those items will be split. So you get an entry point and an exit point from right there. So N1, start 1. And that is where we keep moving. Okay, let's start. So what I want to now do is loop through these. So I did this in previous ones right as well. So you see, yeah, you can see my other system. Most of this is on GitHub, so I'll even put up the GitHub repository link down there. If anybody might be interested, I'm gonna go check out the stream as well. How many people are actually watching? Just one person. That's so me. It's fine. Still fine. Again, mainly doing this for myself, so I can come back and look at it. But again, if anybody else really does want to, maybe after a while, somebody comes out and they say, yeah, we'd like to take a look at the stream as well. That's fine. I don't mind. Okay, let's go back to it. So I put in this. So I said for I in range, what was that to get through it, right? Because I have to keep going through 0, 1, 2, right? So I'm gonna have to, again. It's been a week, and this needs to be a daily thing, or else you forget. So I said I range in lines. I don't need to divide by 3, quite honestly. That was a different solution. For I range lines, and I'm gonna go to new list. So I range lines in new list. First thing that I'm just gonna do is print the starts and endings for each of these. So I know I'm doing it correctly. I know it's a lot of printing, a lot of though, but it has to be very manual. So I understand what I'm doing, what I'm not doing. Right. Okay, so when we say the first iteration, so the first iteration is actually going to be I, because that is the item we're going through, if I am correct, which I should be correct. Oh, I just noticed it says chat is disabled for live stream, and I don't know why it's disabled, but let me see if I can turn it on. I don't want the chat to be disabled. Okay, I think the chat was disabled because I set it for, again, not a YouTuber by any source, not somebody that does live streams. The chat was disabled. Oh, okay. Now we've got a chat. Now we do have a chat. Great. Oh, good. And from what I remember from last time, I could open the chat. Right. Here, I'm sorry, I'm still very new to this. So I have streamed before, again, several times, but it was never like this, right? So it's changed a lot. At least on Mac, the OBS is, and OBS has gotten a lot more advanced. So there used to be a lot of manual stuff that you had to do. OBS now does technically everything. And the last time I opened up OBS, what happened was it opened up a small little thing right here where it said I could view this chat live stream right within OBS, which was very cool. And quite honestly, I'd like that thing back. Oh, there you go. It says chat is disabled for live stream, although it's not. But I think OBS has yet to update itself. That my stream testing OBS. Oh, okay. It actually did get there. And then testing. I'm gonna put this on the browser. Sorry for this spamming. I'm gonna test this how this works. This is cool. Oh, okay. Now I get the chat. I just had to click on refresh chat, and yeah, I got the chat. And quite honestly, now I'm happy. Oh, okay, so one other thing that I've noticed that is that you can't really see my entire screen for some reason. Um, it's not coming in fully. I think it's because of the size, and if I stretch it, it's gonna look weird. So But if that is the case, can't I do something like this? Where I can put my face at the side? What's the case? Sorry for the distraction. I just want to I'm playing the stream right here, guys. Oh, okay, no, that's not the case. It actually takes away from the screen real estate. I was wrong. I don't know. This is the correct one. So the video on the side is not really a video, right? So, okay, got it. Let's get back to it. Need a coffee. For iron range, I'm gonna get through this quickly, guys. This is too long. I've never taken this long on a single problem. It's so long. It's embarrassing. Iron range, what do we want to do? Yeah, we wanted to check the first one. So if N1, so I want to translate N1 into code. N1 is supposed to be new list. Okay, so which one are we actually talking about? It's supposed to be I. So which item we're talking about? Then N1 is supposed to be right. N1 can't be 0. Good problem. Finally getting two problems. So N1 can be 0. We'll have to probably specify what start one. We probably have to do something like this, right? So start one. I'm gonna let's say do this. So start one and then N1, right? And then start two and N2, get up Copilot to the rescue. Although I think this is wrong. So if you ask me, but I still want to see. And now what I want to really do is print all these out. So I'm going to check if this is correct. Menu two. Okay, this is where I actually want get a cloud to work. So I don't have to like type in print N1, print N2, and stuff like that. So it should pretty much be, this is where it needs to get smart. And this is what I really want to use it for. I don't want to do those stuff where I put in an entire comment and it does everything for me. What I wanted to really do is do stuff like this, where I see P and I don't have to write it. It's more like autocomplete. So, okay, so one mistake. I don't know if it's a mistake. So it's supposed to be 2, and then N1 is supposed to be 4. I should have just write it right here. And just write it like this. Can you tell I'm programming for close to 10 years now. Can you tell? I can't. And I'm doing it professionally. I run a software company. I even run individual software companies. So I don't know if this works or not. So if that tells you anything. So I've run 2 different software companies. I worked at a software company as well. So fun stuff. This might be completely wrong and not how you can again. I forgot all the Python I really knew. Yeah, I did it somewhere here as well where I used to. Do you see this? This is the worst thing that you could do in code. You put in if statements, but again, it's fine. It's fine. I don't mind. It's fine. I used to print and made a code and something somewhere. I remember. I did a print with text plus integer somewhere, but I think I did it as testing. Sorry. Print text Sorry. Oh, so comma, not plus. Should I have been smart enough to understand that? Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, this is great. Great suspender. And again, if you're ever thinking that this is the one, this is a clean build I got off from GitHub. So this does not have any analytics tracking or something like that. It's a pretty clean, no tracking version, so it's pretty nice. Again, my Mac has been really slow, which is why I spent most of the morning trying to download Firefox and Safari and trying to configure. But I just don't want to leave Chrome. I've been using Chrome. Google Chrome launched. Let me see if I've been using it since its launch because I've used it very early. Yeah, so not from its launch because it was launched in 2008, but I've been using it since 2009. It's about a year old. I've been using Chrome. I was in the, I think I was in the sixth grade. Sixth, yeah, sixth grade since I've been using Chrome. I'm now about to finish my master's. Chrome was released in 2008. I've been using it since 2009. So that means I've been using Chrome for about 19, 10, 12, about 20, 14 years so far, from what I presume. Live math on stream. 1 year makes 2010, 10 makes 20, 23, that makes 3, 4, yeah, so for about 14 years, about 13 years. If it's 2022 and I've been using this, I think, okay, let me call it before I say, I think it's 13, but let's check. It's 13, see, which is going to confirm. Right, so I've been using it since for 13 years so far, right? So I really don't want to just leave it after 13 years. It's hard to, it's got a lot of history on it. So let's see. I don't know what's stopping me. Okay, I used to be a Firefox fanboy, just by the way, for a time, for a very short time. But that was like a really short time, for about like a few months. Oh no, I used to be an Opera fanboy. The this was in 2012, I think. 12. Yeah, this one. I haven't used it in years at all. I haven't used it at all since I moved to Chrome. Yes, true. Oh, I just saw a message on my phone. Right, so this seems pretty yellow, but it's actually a white phone. It's a white iPhone, but my cover has like fully on yellow. So it's got fully on yellow. So very sad. So that, we're gonna go back to calling this. Alright, so let's replace all of these with commas. Hmm. Don't really care about the semantics at this point. So let's see. 2468. And then it says 2324. Then it says 5779 2837 66 46 and then 2648. Okay, this is correct. Now we're gonna put in those conditions we're just talking about. So now we're gonna put in what? So if the N1, so now I can take those exact statements and then convert those. That's what's best about this. No, now I had to check. So if N1, so we were at this one, right? So if N1 is okay, so if the conditions are exactly the same, but if N1 is less than or equal to count of one, what if it is false? But okay, so if this is true, you don't really put in you don't count. So let's just change the condition. So if N1 is greater than N2, so no, but that can't be the condition. Doing something wrong here. So I want to say if N1 is greater than N2. I'll have to make those pairs um, to make it like work more effectively, right? I think Python just says and, right? Yeah. If N1 is greater than start2, so that's the first thing. So if this, so let's take the condition. So if this is bigger than this, and this is also bigger than this, only that can contain it. Is that not correct? That's correct, right? So and N1 also needs to be greater than N2. Then you count plus. Then okay, then you've got one. Else if N1 is equal to start2, but this condition remains the same. You can count plus one. And in the end, I get a print. Come on, pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. I could just type it in so far, but I wanted to pick it up. Count. Let's see. So there's one. Wrong. Condition is on. That should be two. See why. So is N1 greater than in start2? Where does it need to count? It needs to count right here. Greater than N2, yes, so it counted. Great. But is N1 greater than, but is N1 is not greater than, okay, that is a condition that I did not check. So N1 could also be, or N1 could be equal to N2. And right here as well, we should probably just make this one statement, or N1 just equals to, I think. This one statement should do it. I don't know. That says 3. That's not the case. Oh, no, it needs to be N2 equals to N2. Sorry. That says 6. What the hell am I doing? Why does it say 6? It does not say 6. Okay, I'm just gonna check this. I don't want to do nested statements. That's a bad approach. If N1 is greater than N2, either in the start of 2 or N1 is equals to start of 2, that is, I think is a good condition. But N1 is greater than N2, or so what if they're both equal? They still contain each other, right? So 7, 7, 7, 7. Now, I'm going to remove the equal conditions for now. So let me run this now. Does this, what does this, it says 1. Okay, so it probably satisfies. Is there anyone that could be falsely this that satisfies this? So 4 is less than 6. It does not. Right, so this one just fails right here, right? So I have to make ones for equals to. And I have to make one for this condition, where this one, yes, they are equal to, but the N2, N1 and N2 are actually equals to each other. You still accomplish one because N1 is greater and then N2 is equal. That means, so right here, so it still contains it completely, or does it? Yeah, because it's a 6 6 and it's 4 to 6. Oh, they've also written right here. So it's a 6 and they will 4 5 6. It does contain it. This does contain it. This does not contain it. This does contain it. This does contain it. Is the answer 2 now? The answer is still 3. The answer should be 2. Why is the answer 3? Right, so this is supposed to be of, not of. So the answer is 3. We're going to get through it. I could do a dry run. I really don't want to. Quite honestly, I don't want to do a dry run. Oh, think N1 needs to be greater than N2, not less than, greater than. Was this the problem? It says 2. So now we're gonna check. I think it still has a lot of issues, but we're still waiting to now test it. Because again, that I know I can assume when there's a problem and I can see where there might be a problem, but I still need to go through the process. The process was that I am wrong. Problem. I'm not taking into account a lot of equations. Maybe a lot of stuff hasn't been taken into account. That's fine. That's fine. Not an issue. See, and because it's a problem because I did not really solve the problem. What I just tried to do was I tried to go through it and I tried to just get the answer to whatever way I could. And then when I did get the answer to, I thought, done, that's okay, but that's not how you actually work on it. You need to work on the problem. Let's find a solution to the entire detailed problem. You can't do one specific answer, and that is the wrong recipe. But I wanted to do it just so, again, it's more of affirmations than anything else. So we're doing wrong conditioning here, quite honestly. If nothing else, what we want to do is see if the first rate contains the other. So this could be either way, right? So either of them could be bigger or smaller. That means the first one could also be smaller, bigger. So in any condition, right? Yeah, yeah. No, no. I think not, and I'm getting to it. What we first need to check is the start first rate. So ideally, let's see first the ideal condition. So ideally, the first one, that is the first one, the starting one should always be smaller. So it should be 2 to 4 and then 5 to, let's say, 10. Or let's say, okay, 2 to 4 and 6 to 8. So in ideal conditions, first one should be smaller. So I'm going to move all of this and I get that to actual problem solving. So the first thing that we want to see is that the start one, that is the first case to it, should actually be bigger than start two. No, this can't be the way to go through it. It has to be some other way. You need to check an entire range. You need to build the range. No, I think I'm getting it. So whichever is smaller for the start one becomes the range. Whichever is bigger for the ending one becomes the end. So you take the start and you take the end. And then you compare both the numbers to your start and end. You need an extreme points, right? So you need something like, let me do it something like, so if start one is less than, is smaller than start two, start will equal to start one, right? Start will equal start, yeah, something like that. Else, start will equal start two, right? So let's just go through it. So if 2 is less than 6, 2 is ready to start. If 2 is less than 4, 2 is ready to start. If 5 is less than 7, 2 is less than 3, 2 is ready to start. If 6 is less than 4, 2 is less than 4, 2. Right. And I want to make this, that even if it's equal to, let's take the first one. So even if the two are equal, so if you start at 6, 6, it's fine. You could make it, or even if they're equal, not and, or, so if it could satisfy either condition, so it could even be equal and still have the first starting order. That's okay. And then I'm gonna do so I'm gonna call this determine range start. I'm gonna call this determine range start. And I'm gonna call it determine range end. So if end of one is as in end of two, or they're equal, never mind. Now see, this is where the greater one wins. So it's get right here. So if 7 to 9, so if the start of N1 is less than N2, then our ending variables. Now we have ending variables, right? So that's a good thing. So our end variable then equals right. So this is also change. 2. So if n1 is smaller, n2 is the answer, quite honestly, because n2 is bigger, we want the bigger one. And for any other case, n2 is still the answer. If not, then n1 is the answer. So we get the ranges for what we want to code. So what I get is the range starts at, now what I want to check. So I've got a range. So in the first one, I've got the range from 2 to 8. 2 to 8. That's what I'm going to range for. But I'm not doing right push. I'm not doing right push, no. So this is wrong. Even if I got an ending in low, both of them are smaller within those ranges. This is a stupid approach. What am I doing? No, this is not the answer. What am I doing? This is not it. This is not how you check it. What we need to check is Either one of them could be big, right? Either one of them. So if I go through my input, so for the first one, it's 12 to 80 and 12 to 81. So the second one is actually bigger. Second one is actually bigger. You see that little yellow right down there? That means Copilot is not activated. It's not activated in the text files. As soon as I go to Python, it's activated. Cool. Just a stuff right here. Well, I'm not able to solve the problem. I keep getting distracted on my phone, but I'm not actually distracted. I'm trying to use my brain and be a little smart with it and think. But while I am thinking, I want to like look down at my phone. So it may seem a bit weird, but that's how I'm gonna do it. It's not supposed to be that difficult. I don't know what I'm doing. Why it's difficult for me? It's not that difficult. Is it because of the stream? Stuck with the problem. It's a very easy problem. Mm-hmm. I think I've got something. So it's getting hot. I don't know why I wrote this. I don't know. Hoodie in the morning. But I think I'm about to solve it just now. It's not about greater or less. So first thing is that we just need to check if they contain it. That's where we get the wrong answers. For example, if I check this one, so 2 is less than 6 and 4 is less than 8. Does that matter? Do you understand why you don't trust Copilot because of that? We're gonna see the possibilities now. So we take the first one, and we take start one, right? Take start one. Start one generally, if it's could either be it could be less than or equal to. Good, go pilot. I don't know why I was. Again, it's because of the stream. I'm not this stupid. I'm really not. I'm able to solve problems. I've been co-programming for 10 years. I've been programming since I'm 14 years old. I'm now 24, turning 25 in 3 months in March. Well, it's 24, 27. I'm turning 25 in exactly 3 months. I'm so stupid how I can. So I'm really not that stupid. This is not just what I want to say. Okay. Okay. Yeah. There you go. Start one. Start one needs to be. So what if it's. What if we do greater than and equal to? Greater than or equal to start two and n1. So let's go through all the possibilities just quickly. So start one could be smaller than start two when it actually could be that. So start one could be greater or equal to start two. No, start one needs to be less. And start one needs to be smaller and equal to start two, and n1 needs to be greater and equal to n2 or n2. That makes a count. That doesn't make a count. It's wrong. Well, let's see if this condition fits our this problem. So is 6 is greater? No. 6 less than 4 is not. It's greater than 4. That means it just cancels out of that condition. And then we'll do the conditions. I want to do them, then I have to. I know it's a stupid move, but I want to just do it. I want to do it. I want to go through the process. I want to find every condition. But what if start one is not? That is the first one, right? Yeah, keep jumping. Go. Again, I know it's wrong, but I want to do it. I want to test something. It's gonna be a wrong approach, but I want to test it out. And this is what I wanted. Your answer is too high. Your peer's answer is too low. So I go back. What I'm actually gonna do is I'm gonna end the stream and I'm gonna have breakfast and coffee. It's too early to do this, quite honestly, and I can't think with the stream. I was wrong to take this approach. But I might even come back to stream, or I might just solve the problem and upload it to GitHub. I'm not sure. I might. I might not. I might. I'm not really sure. It's about 11:50 a.m. It's about to be noon. I need to get breakfast. I haven't had anything to eat, and I need to get coffee. So, bye bye. I'm gonna solve the problem and put it up on GitHub, and I'm gonna try not by December 30 because I'm gonna be traveling over the next 2 days. I might be traveling over the next 2 days. If not, I'll be pretty busy. I know, so, but I'm gonna try to finish this element of code completely. I'm gonna try. I'm can't commit. Okay, everyone. Let's do this next time.